So value of the fixed bond after computing all this, let's say comes out to be $0.99. Now we are saying this is the value of the fixed coupon bond with a notional principal of $1, and in reality my notional principal was $30 million. So multiply this with this to actually get the final value of fixed bond in this situation. So we got the V fixed, one side of to value the swap. Let's move on to look at how to value a floating. How to value floating? Remember I told you one thing in the floating. The value of the floating bond is always equal to the par value. For a notional principal of $1, the value at time 0 is $1. Then the value at all the reset dates, right? 90 days, 180, 270, 360. All the reset dates, the value becomes equal to the par value, $1, $1. Remember that? The reason for that is your coupons are floating in nature and your discount factor decides the coupons. Higher is the discount factor, higher will be the coupon, and when you discount them back, the value will come back to the same par value. Since discount factor is the LIBOR here and LIBOR decides your coupons, for a floating rate coupon, I know without even worrying about what will be the LIBOR here, here or here, I do not care. All I know, the value should be equal to the par at the settlement dates of the coupons. But I am not sure what will be the value of the floating bond 30 days from time 0. That I am not sure, because bond will accrue interest during that time period. Coupon will only generated here, but 30-day interest is already accrued in the bond. Hence the value of the floating bond in the middle of the timeline before the settlement date, for example on the 30th day, has to be greater than $1 because of the accrued interest of 30 days, right? Which will make its value little greater than $1, but at 90 it will be pulled to par, 180 pulled to par, pulled to par, pulled to par. That's the whole idea here. Okay, so let me use a different color to show you that I know the value of the bond here is $1. Okay, now when I say value, it's the present value of all future cash flows, right? Comes out to be $1 at this date. So I do not have to look back. So I do not look back on this timeline. All I say, on the 90th day, the present value of future cash flow is $1, plus there is a coupon, floating coupon, that will come on 90th day. What is that floating coupon on the 90th day? The floating coupon on 90th day is decided at time 0. This is very, very important. What will come in the next time period? For example, what will come in C1 depends on the LIBOR at time 0. What will come in C2 will depend on LIBOR at time 1. So this will decide 2. LIBOR in time period 2 will decide cash flow in the third period. Because we have to predict in advance what would be the cash flow, floating cash flow in the next settlement date. So LIBOR in period 1 decides what will be the cash flow in period 2. So there is a lag of which LIBOR is picked versus when the cash flow happens. Okay, so my question to you is, what will be the floating coupon I should pick here on the 90th day? Should I pick whatever is the LIBOR for next 60 days, or should I pick the one which was decided at the beginning of the swap? Which floating rate coupon should I pick? Yes, the coupon I should pick should be based on was decided at the beginning of the swap, which means the LIBOR 90, which was observed at time 0. So at time 0, the LIBOR 90 was given to us. If you remember in the question, the LIBOR 90 was given to be 5.5%. This is a very important step where I say I would use 5.5% to decide my floating cash flow, which is the time 0 LIBOR 90. So 5.5% is an annual rate. I converted into a 90-day rate. So 90 by 360, and that will be the rate which will decide the floating coupon at this point right here. Divide by 4, so I take it in dollar 0.01375. So this number dollar 0.01375 is a coupon with a notional principal of $1 per dollar notional principal. This is the coupon. Are you with me? Now this is coming at this time on the 90th day, and I'm trying to looking it at 30th day. So clearly the discounting has to be done for 60 days, not 90 days, because I'm computing the value at 30th day. I'm here. So let me draw a nice timeline once again for a floating side of things. So time 0, LIBOR 90 was given to be 5.5%. My first coupon payout is 90, second is 180. In a floating rate, I do not care beyond the first settlement date because I know the present value of all future cash flow has to be $1, the par value. If I am at 30th day, I say 60 days are remaining and the coupon here C1 will come out, and this coupon right here C1 is dependent on this LIBOR. But the discounting, the present value factor, will depend on this 60-day LIBOR, yes, which is known at this point. Because I'm sitting here, I know my LIBOR 60, right, this time period. So to get that cash flow in the present value terms, I have to use this LIBOR 60, but the value of the cash that will be paid depends on this LIBOR 90. So far so good. So I have computed the present value factors on the 30th day. I hope you remember that. So I know the present value factor LIBOR 60th day I computed right here is 0.99. So to get the value of a floating bond, I have to look at the immediate floating cash outflow, which is this number per dollar. So dollar 0.0137. I need to discount it. Now to discount it, I need to multiply by present value factor for 60 day, which was in our case present value factor for 60 day was 0.99. So I multiply by 0.99 to get the present value, plus there is a present value of $1 at this point, so I also multiply that with 0.99. So the value of $1 right here, which is everything future expected cash flows, their present value $1, the par value, is also brought to present value. So the answer is $1.0137. I add these two and multiply, factoring it out with 0.99. What you get is, once you multiply this, you get the answer, which is, I'm just using a calculator on the side to compute the numbers, 1.0037. So I get this number here. So clearly this is the number, the value of the floating bond, and I know the value of the fixed bond. Now this is the per dollar number of the fixed bond, and this is the per dollar number of the floating bond. Everything has a notional principal of $1. I see that V floating is greater than V fixed. So my final answer, of course, the value of the swap is a mod of, the value of the floating minus value of the fixed. So I take in absolute terms. So value of the fixed, I got it to be something 1.00, $1.003, and the value of the fixed that I got, the other thing was in 0.99 something. So per dollar value of the swap right now is 0.09721, and I need to multiply with my notional principal of 30 million to get the total value of the swap. So multiply by 10 raised to the power 7. It comes out to be, multiply by 3, 291,630.